We've been waiting for Isaac for a while, right? And you know what? Let me just say this for a second. Some of you guys have been waiting for your Isaac, and I just want to let you know your Isaac is about to be born, so don't give up, because soon and very soon things are going to happen. Hello, and welcome back to Grace.Filled. We are wrapping up another week, and I'm so excited. For those of you who have been walking with me through this journey, we have finished Job. We are into Genesis. We've had a live, and we have made it through no power, through the snow, through the ice, and you have made it through whatever it is. Fill in the blanks that you're going through. We are all the way at day 18, and we're doing Genesis 19 through 21. And I have someone so sweet that's going to be gifting me a mic soon. So, prayerfully, you guys will be able to hear me a little bit better. I've never said this before, but today, if you probably have little kids near you, maybe you could pause this and put on some headphones, or maybe you can watch it at another time. And as always, I've got my little fuzzy socks and my slippers. Grab your fuzzy socks, your slippers, your blanket, your tea, your drinks, your pens, your pencils, or put me in your ear while you're cleaning, while you're cooking, while you're taking care of business. But either way, I'm excited to dive into this with you. So we're going to jump right in with Genesis 19, Sodom's depravity. Now the two angels came to Sodom in the evening, and Lot was sitting in the gate of Sodom. When Lot saw them, he rose to meet them, and he bowed himself with his face toward the ground. And he said, "Here now, my lords, please turn into your servant's house and spend the night and wash your feet. Then you may rise early and go on your way." And they said, "No, but we will spend the night in the open square." But he insisted strongly. So they turned in to him and entered his house. Then he made them a feast, and he baked unleavened bread, and they ate. Now before they lay down, the men of the city, the men of Sodom, both young and old, all the people from every quarter surrounded the house. And they called out to Lot and said to him, "Where are the men who came to you tonight? Bring them out to us that we may know them carnally." So Lot went out to them through the doorway, shut the door behind him, and said, "Please, my brethren, do not do so wickedly. See, now I have 2 daughters who have not known a man. Please let me bring them out to you, and you may do to them as you wish. Only do nothing to these men, since this is the reason they have come under the shadow of my roof." And they said, "Stand back." Then they said, "This one came in to stay here, and he keeps acting as a judge. Now we will deal worse with you than with them." So they pressed hard against the man Lot and came near to break down the door. But the men reached out their hands and pulled Lot into the house with them and shut the door. And they struck the men who were at the doorway out of the house with blindness, small, both, and great. So they became weary trying to find the door. Now, we are going to absolutely talk about this in our live. Whew. But there is just a lot happening here. We are coming face to face with just wickedness, with brokenness, with lust, right? With just worldly desires. And the men of Sodom are demanding to have sex with them, the human males. And the thing that's really interesting is Lot offers his virgin daughters. And so it makes me wonder, what was his intention for doing that? Like, what did he think about these men? What did he perceive about these men? There had to be some thought about who these men were for him to be willing to give his own flesh and blood. Maybe he was bluffing. I don't know. I don't have all the information, and I don't want to go too deep, because we're going to go deep when we have our lives. So make sure that you tune in. But the angels strike the men with blindness. And considering their lust and greed and was kind of through the eye visually, maybe this was an appropriate action. So it says Sodom and Gomorrah destroyed. Then the men, well, my question is maybe Lot knew they were angels. But then the men said to Lot, have you anyone else here? Son-in-laws, your sons, your daughters, and whomever you have in this city? Take them out of this place, for we will destroy this place because the outcry against them has grown great before the face of the Lord. And the Lord has sent us to destroy it. So Lot went out and spoke to his son-in-laws who had married his daughters and said, get up, get out of this place, for the Lord will destroy the city. But his son-in-law said, he seems to be joking. So when the morning dawned, the angels urged Lot to hurry, saying, arise, take your wife, your 2 daughters, who are at least here, or you're going to be consumed. And while he lingered, the men took hold of his hands, his wife's hands, and the hands of his 2 daughters, the Lord being merciful to them, and brought him out and set him outside the city. So it came to pass, when they had brought them outside, that he said, escape for your life. Do not look behind you or stay anywhere in the plain. Escape to the mountains, lest ye be destroyed. I gotta stop right there. First of all, it's amazing in 16 how he said just being merciful to him. We serve such a good and merciful Father. Well, we don't even know. We're unaware. He's just so merciful to us. The wrath was held just so they could get where they needed to go. And I think this is so amazing. And then the next thing is, when you hear instructions, what do you do? That's the question. That's the question. What do you do when you hear instructions? Do you obey? Do you move immediately? Do you listen? Do you murmur? Do you complain? What do you do? What do you do? Because this wasn't a time for back and forth when I think and I want. You had instructions. Then Lot said to them, please, no, my lords. Indeed, now your servant has found favor in your sight, and you have increased your mercy, which you have shown me by saving my life. But I cannot escape to the mountains, lest some evil overtake me and I die. See, now this city is near enough to flee to, and it is a little one. Please let me escape there. Is it not a little one? And my soul shall live. And he said to him, see, I have favored you concerning this thing also, and that I will not overthrow this city for which you have spoken. Hurry and escape there, for I cannot do anything until you arrive there. Maybe the Most High is wanting to do some things, and he's just waiting until we get to a place to where we're supposed to be, and then things are about to happen. But for our sake, things are being spared. Man, when we think about life in that way. So therefore, the name of the city was called Zoar. The sun had risen upon the earth when Lot entered Zoar. Then the Lord rained brimstone and fire on Sodom and Gomorrah from the Lord out of the heavens. So he overthrew these cities, all the plain, all the inhabitants of the city, and what grew on the ground. But his wife looked behind them, and she became a pillar of salt. What did I say for the instructions? She didn't listen. That's why I said when you get instructions, what do? Do you listen or not? Because not listening could cost you your life. And in this situation, it cost her life. So Abram went early in the morning to the place where he had stood before the Lord. And then he looked toward Sodom and Gomorrah and toward the land and the plains. And he saw and behold the smoke of the land, which went up like the smoke of a furnace. And it came to pass when God destroyed the city of the plain, that God remembered Abram and sent Lot out of the midst of the overthrow. And when he overthrew the cities in which Lot had dwelt. Then Lot went up out of Zoar and dwelt in the mountains, and his 2 daughters were with him, for he was too afraid to dwell in Zoar. And he and his 2 daughters dwelt in a cave. Now the firstborn said to the younger, our father is old, and there is no man on the earth to come in to us as the custom was the earth. So come and let us make our father drink wine, and we will lie with him, that we may preserve the lineage of our father. So they made their father drink wine that night, and the firstborn went in and lay with her father, and he did not know when she lay down or when she arose. It happened on the next day that the firstborn said to the younger, indeed, I lay with my father last night. Let us make him drink wine tonight also, and you go in and you lie with him, that we may preserve the lineage of our father. Then they made their father drink wine that night also, and the younger arose and lay with him. and did not know when she lay down, and he did not know when she lay down and when she arose. Thus both the daughters of Lot were with child by their father. The firstborn bore a son and called his name Moab. He is the father of the Moabites to this day. And the younger, she also bore a son and called his name Ben-Ami. He is the father of the people of Ammon to this day. From where Abram journeyed toward the territory of the Negev and lived between Kadesh and Shur, he sojourned in Greer. And Abram said to Sarah his wife, "She is my sister." And Amalek king of Ur sent and looked at Sarah and took Sarah. But God came to Elimelech in a dream by night and said to him, "Behold, you are a dead man because the woman whom you have taken, for she is a man's wife." Now Amalek had not approached her. So he said, "Lord, will you kill an innocent people? Did he not himself say to me, 'She is my sister'? And she herself say, 'He is my brother'? In the integrity of my heart and the innocence of my hand have I done this." Then God said to him in a dream, "Yes, I know that you have done this in the integrity of your heart. And it was I who kept you from sinning against me. Therefore, I did not let you touch her. Now then, return the man's wife, for he is a prophet, so that he will pray for you, and you shall live. But if you do not return her, you will surely die, you and all who are yours." So Elimelech rose early in the morning and called to his servants and told him all these things. And the men were very much afraid. Then Elimelech called Abraham and said, "What have you done to us? How have I sinned against you, that you have brought me and my kingdom a great sin? You have done to me things that ought not be done." And Amalek said to Abraham, "What did you see that you did this thing?" Abraham said, "I did it because I thought, there is no fear of God in all this place, and they will kill me because of my wife. Besides, she is indeed my sister, the daughter of my father, though not the daughter of my mother, and she became my wife. And when God caused me to wander from my father's house, I said to her, 'This is the kindness you must do to me. At every place which we come, say of me, he is my brother.' Then Abimelech took sheep and oxen and male servants and female servants and gave them to Abraham and returned Sarah, his wife, to him. And Abimelech said, 'Behold, my land is before you. Dwell where it pleases you.' To Sarah he said, 'Behold, I have given your brother 1,000 pieces of silver. It is a sign of your innocence in the eyes of all who are with you, and before everyone that you are vindicated.' Then Abraham prayed to God, and God healed Elimelech, and also healed his wife and female slaves, so they bore children. For the Lord had closed all the wombs of the house of Elimelech because of Sarah, Abram's wife. Now we are wrapping it up with Genesis 21. With the birth of Isaac. We've been waiting for Isaac for a while, right? And you know what? Let me just say this for a second. Some of you guys have been waiting for your Isaac, and I just want to let you know your Isaac is about to be born, so don't give up, because soon and very soon things are going to happen. Now the Lord was gracious to Sarah as he had said, and the Lord did for Sarah what he had promised. Sarah became pregnant and bore a son to Abraham in his old age at the very time God promised him. And Abraham gave the name Isaac to the son Sarah bore him. When his son Isaac was 8 days old, Abraham circumcised him as God commanded him. Abraham was 100 years old when his son Isaac was born to him. And Sarah said, "God has brought me laughter, and everyone who hears about this will laugh with me." She also added, "Who would have said to Abraham and Sarah, who would nurse children? Yet I have borne him a son in his old age." The child grew and was weaned, and on the day Isaac was weaned, Abraham had a great feast. But Sarah saw that her son, whom Hagar the Egyptian had brought to Abraham, was mocking. And she said to Abraham, "Get rid of the slave woman and her son, for that woman's son will never share in the inheritance with my son Isaac." The matter distressed Abraham greatly because it concerned his son. But God said to him, "Do not be distressed about the boy and your slave woman. Listen to whatever Sarah tells you, because it is through Isaac that your offspring will be reckoned." I will make the son of the slave into a nation also because he is your offspring. I love that even when we do our own thing, the Most High is still thinking about us, so faithful, so just, so loving towards us. So early the next morning, Abraham took some food and a skin of water and gave them to Hagar. And then he sent them on her shoulder and sent her off with the boy. She went on her way and wandered in the desert of Bathsheba. When the water in the skin was gone, she put the boy under one of the bushes. Then she went off and sat down about a blow shot away, for she thought, I cannot watch the boy die. And as she sat there, she began to sob. God heard the boy crying, and the angel of God called to Hagar from heaven. What kind of crime were they doing? I'm trying to let my tears reach the heavens. What's the matter, Hagar? What's the matter, Christy? What's the matter, sister, brother, lady of grace, gentleman? What's the matter? Come on. Do not be afraid. God has heard the boy crying as he lies there. Lift the boy up and take him by the hand, for I will make him into a great nation. Then God opened her eyes, and she saw a well of water. So she went and filled his skin with water and gave the boy a drink. God was with the boy as he grew up. He lived in a desert and became an archer. While he was living in the desert of Paran, his mother got a wife for him from Egypt. At the time, Abimelech, the patrol, the commander of his forces, said to Abraham, God is with you in everything you do. Now swear to me here before God that you will not deal falsely with me or my children or my descendants. Show me and the country where you now reside as a foreigner the same kindness I have shown you. And Abraham said, I swear it. Then Abraham complained to Amalek about a well of water that Amalek's servants had seized. But Amalek said, I do not know who has done this. You did not tell me. I heard about it only today. So Abraham brought sheep and cattle and gave them to Amalek, and the two men made a treaty. Abraham set apart 7 ewe lambs with the flock, and Abimelech asked Abram, what is the meaning of these 7 ewe lambs you have set apart by themselves? He replied, accept these 7 lambs from my hand as my witness that I dug this well. So this place was called Beersheba because the 2 men swore an oath there. After the treaty had been made at Beersheba, Amalek and Pichol, the commander of the forces, returned to the land of Philistines. Abraham planted a tamarisk tree in the Beersheba and called on the name of the Lord, the eternal God. And Abraham stayed in the land of the Philistines for a long time. Oh, Father, this was so good. This was so good. Father, thank you first for just this time and this space, just allowing your sons and daughters to get together one more time. Some of us are healing. Some of us are well. Some of us have bad weather. Some of us have good weather. Some of us have everything. Some of us have nothing. Some of us just really need you. And so in this moment, we're just calling upon the one that sees, the one who knows, the one who hears, and the one who honors his word. The word said over and over, just like you said, just like you said, just like you would. Just as promised, she had a baby. If you say a thing, it will come to pass. Help us to trust that you are good and that your plans are good to us. Help us believe that you want the best for us, that you have our best interests at heart, that you are concerned about us, that you are compassionate and merciful to us. How many times do we see mercy shown? Father, help us to be obedient so we're not looking back when you tell us to go forward. Help us to be obedient and listen. Even if we don't understand it, even if we don't like it, even if we don't want it, right? Just help us with us. Because we can mess things up for ourselves and get ourselves into a situation we can't get ourselves out. We don't want to turn around and turn into a pillar of salt. Help us to just keep running on so we can see where the end is going to be, like they used to sing when I was growing up. Father, I'm praying for the broken. I'm praying for the wounded. I'm praying for the downtrodden. I'm praying for the hungry, for the poor, for the orphans, for the widows. I'm praying for those in surgeries and ICU. I'm praying for those that are grieving, that are motherless and fatherless. I'm praying for those that have no one. I'm praying for those in undeveloped countries. I'm praying for those that are being trafficked, those that are being used as sex objects. Father, we give to you all the evil doings of this world. Your word tells us, fret not for the evildoers, for they will have their just reward. Oh, Father, help us, because we need you like never before. I'm praying for peace. We have a lot of tension in the air. I'm praying for peace. I'm praying for your righteousness, your grace, your mercy to prevail in our lives. I'm praying that we see a miracle. I'm praying that you turn some things around and shift some things on our behalf. I'm praying that you turn what the enemy meant for evil for good in our lives. I'm praying that we continue to bear your image, bring you glory, bring you honor, bring you praise in what we say and what we do. And I'm praying that every time we read this word, it keeps getting in our heart. I'm praying that it keeps reminding us of who you are, of just your nature, of why we love you, of why we trust you, of why we can depend on you. So when our situation, our circumstance wants to tell us how we feel and wants to tell us what it is, we've got the proof. They say the proof's in the pudding, but the proof's in the word. The word stands over and over and time after time again. You've never failed us and you never will. Thank you. Father, we learned a couple of scriptures back that when Job prayed for his friends, he recovered all. We're praying for our enemies. We're praying for our friends. We're praying for those who've mistreated us, who've abused us, who've neglected us, who caused trauma, grief, pain, insecurities. We give it all to you. We surrender. We lay at your feet. Thou art the potter, we are the clay. Mold us. Make us after your will as you see fit for your kingdom and for your glory. May your name be lifted high in all the earth. We don't want a rock to cry out for us while the blood is yet running warm in our veins. We want to say thank you. We want to say that we love you, that we bless you, that we praise you. You're so worthy. We can't begin to talk about how worthy and how amazing you are. I'm praying that you would continue to bless my brothers and my sisters, my nieces and my nephews. You give them safety travels if they're traveling this weekend. That even though we won't be meeting together, I pray, Father, that they make time for you, however that looks like for them. I'm praying if you lead them, that they go back and rewatch a video. I'm praying that they are praying for other people, that they are remembering that one of the tools and keys is to fast. Some things only come fasting and praying. So may our prayer and fasting increase so that we can see change. I pray that when you look upon us, you say, that's my son and daughter, I'm well pleased. I pray that we make you smile. And we just love you and give you all the glory and praise. In Yeshua's name we pray. Amen. As always, I'm never out of words. I could go on and on and on. I think you guys know that by now. But I am out of time. And so I pray that it'll be well with you until we meet again. So, may he bless you, keep you, shine his face upon you, let his countenance be gracious to you. May he give you peace. May he give you shalom. Thank you for being faithful. Thank you for walking this journey out with me. And thank you so much, especially this week, for just being patient and generous as we work through these parts of life. But there is a video up. for every single day. There are 18 videos for 18 days that we are on. And not only that, but we got the one live. Until next time, we're seeking his face.